Hello, welcome to this Wargamer. I'm your host, Rob. In this video, we're going to be looking at event results from all around the world. This week, we've got 229 players battling out over 10 events and 5 different countries. Very exciting times. USA, Norway, Spain. We've got some pretty interesting and spicy results as well. Flesh Eater Courts are going to feature heavily as our Cruel Boys, as our Stormcast making a return. Are they potentially making a return? Maybe, which is very fun. We're not going to see as many Cities of Sigmar as we saw last week, and we're definitely not going to see. We are going to see a couple of Karajan Overlords as well. They feature. They're doing really well. Cruel Boys, definitely the success. Flesh Eater Courts on the way. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please do leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Our first event is the OFCC Sigmar event, taking place in Portland, Oregon. Woohoo! Let's go Portland. Love me some Portland. That's what I love. So we have got 45 players battling it out at this event run by the fantastic Ordo Fanaticus and James Idle, Alexander Gonzalez, James Idle, and Michael Toons all running the event. Great to see tournament organizers trying really hard. Also, shout out to some of the other people there. Right, so we've got 2 5-0s from this event, and it's Mr. Matt Beasley, an amazing Warhammer player over on the West Coast, which is also apparently Best Coast. Don't forget, at the American Team Championships, or not that, but whatever, they had an inter-regional championship, and the West Coast won the event, Pacific Northwest. Also, Fred Smith, also with a 5-0, also an amazing person, really sweet guy, running Fire Slayers. So Isla Deepkin and Fire Slayers, you are not expecting to be your 2 army lists that are the top of the biggest event of the week, but I could expect both Matt and Fred to be the 5-0 players. So Matt's list was a list called Zombie Sharks, you son of a bitch, I'm in. Which is an Isla Deepkin Aether Predators list with Icon of the Storm, Achillean Alapex times 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and then a Leviathan, Mathala, the Oracle of the Abyss, and some Namati Reavers. And then the Regiments Renowned, the Saviors of Cinderfall. They will get a points update in the latest Battle Scroll. They're going to go up 10 points, as well as the Alapexes. These are going to go up 10 points as well when the Battle Scroll drops. So I think that'll be a nice little change for the army. Maybe just have 1 less Alapex. But either way, super effective. And also, at the end of last week's stat show, I said, where are Idneth Deepkin? We've started this week's show off with here are Idneth Deepkin. So that's cool to see. Our next list is run by Fred Schmidt, and this is the Fire Slayers Scale of Volcatrix list called Froth Time, running Masters of the Path and Restless Energy with the Magmic Invocations, and he's running the Scales of Volcatrix battle formation. He's got a Rune Father on Magmadroth, 2 units of Volkite Berserkers Fast Steel Weapons, Ulrich Rune Master with 2 units of Hearthguard Berserkers with Flamestrike Poleaxes, and then basically a Battlesmith with another 2 units, and then a Scourge Garan, Runeson on Magmadroth, and then again the Saviors of Cinderfall. So you can see why they're going to go up in points, to be honest. Now, I'm not surprised to see this do quite well, because this is running really small units to activate in multiple different locations, which I think the Activations War could be an interesting element that we could discuss more in another video in the future. But that's actually quite fun. Shout out to Fred. Taking a look at the 4 1s, we have Sylvaneth, we have Lumineth Realm Lords, we have Seraphon, we have Cities of Sigmar, more Deepkin, and Karajan Overlords. So some of the usual suspects, but also some pretty interesting additional armies. So Mason was running a list called Hauling Big Loads, which is Karajan Overlords Pioneers Outpost list with Intercept and Recover and Restless Energy, with an Arcanaut Admiral, 4 Gunshot Gun Haulers, and then an Etheric Navigator, some Vongrim Harpoon Crew, and then 2 units of Vongrim Salvagers, which have been reinforced. Now, these took the world by storm after the most recent book launch, and it continues on here. We just need a little bit of a points adjustment on KO to adjust some of their elements, but as I've been hearing and also experiencing, the main feature is their new terrain piece, which is having big impact in lots of different ways for lots of different armies, shutting down counter charges by charging in and just being in the way. Very interesting. And someone like Mason, who's done very well over the past several years, doing well with them is unsurprising. Ben Chevalier was running a list called Jaws Theme Plays on Ominously, which was a Idneth Deepkin Aether Predators list with Scouting Force and Master of the Paths. He had Eidolon, and then he had 3 Alapexes, another Eidolon, the other one, and then 3 more Alapexes, and then a final Eidolon. So 3 Eidolons and then 6 Alapexes running around the board. I think it's fair to say this list may have jumped the shark. Jerry Malloy is running a list called Stuff, which is a Cities of Sigmar veteran cannoneers list with some stuff in it. No, he's got Interceptor, Recover, and Master the Paths. He has a Fusel Major on Ogre Warhawk. He has 3 Great Cannons, Scorcher Grand, Pontifex, and Estra, a reinforced unit of Freeguild Cavaliers, a Steam Tank Commander, Freeguild Marshal, Relic Envoy, 2 Freeguild Command Corps, and then Callus and Toll, and an Alchemy Warforger. So, as we know, Cities of Sigmar are doing really well along with Carriage and Overlords at the minute. Probably we're going to see some points adjustments for those in the latest Battle Scroll coming out at the end of this month. Then we've got Michael Bernstein running a list called Croak is Cracking His Crocs with his Carriage and Kith and Kin, which is a Sunclaw Starhost list with Master Path and Intercept and Recover, with Lord Croak, a Bastiladon with Arcosotech, 2 reinforced units of Croxagore, a Sunblood pack, which is the new, since the Battle Scroll date updated, not Battle Scroll, no, we had a kind of FAQ thing that came out 3 or 4 days, not 3 or 4 days ago, a couple of weeks ago. I covered it in the videos, just go watch. But they had, Sunblood pack has just come out and got given some rules. It's a PDF on Warhammer Community, you can go check it out. So that came out, and it seemed like it was very effective, and there it is. Then the Rope Shaper engine, and then the Regiment Renown, the Skyport Profiteers, with the Gunstruck Thunderers that can turn off ward saves. So being able to utilize the Regiment Renown to teleport Croxagore further up the board and then go have a fight, very cool. Love to see that. Shout out to Michael. That's a very fun list. Then Josh Black is running a list called Tech List, which is a Lumineth Realm Lords, Alarith Temple army, running Intercept, Recover, and Wrathful Cycles. With Tech Lists, Scorching Grand Light of Altharian, a Stone Mage, a Spirit of the Mountain, 2 units of Stone Guard, one of which was reinforced, a Wind Mage, and a unit of Wind Chargers. Like I said last week, Lumineth Realm Lords are currently in a really good position. They've got lots of spell mechanics and lots of good utility in their units to be very effective. Techless is the first time we've seen Techless in, and also running Morbid Conjuration versus running their own spell lore, where their own manifestations are so good, is also pretty spicy. So there's a lot of change up here from what we have seen doing generally well, which has been Light of Altharian, Eleanor and Elithor, the 20 Sentinels, using their own manifestations. So great work from Joshua there to see something different. And then Ryan Maloney was running a list called Suck My Sap, which is a Sylvaneth Wargrove of the Burgeoning list with Restless Energy and Wrathful Cycles with Spirit Earthu, 2 units of Kurnoth Hunters with Kurnoth Scythes, Warsong Rev, Triads, Tree Revs, Branch Witch, Belthanos, First Thorn of Kurnoth. So we have seen this before. Dropping a Lariel and starting to go for more output here is pretty spicy, especially with Belthanos. If you run charge, run up the board, and then the Hunters and also Durthu to do more fighting. So absolutely brilliant. Hope everyone had a great time at this event. Congratulations to all the players for doing so well. Let's go look at the next event. Our next event takes us to Texas for our other 45-person event in the USA. This is the Hammerfest GT 2025, organized by the Texas Masters and Christopher Schelling. Also Ben Riddle, TJ Sabbath, and Vince Bowden also doing the same. Look at the 5-0s. We have got 2 5-0s. We have Iron Jaws, very unexpected, and Cruel Boys, run by the beautiful Gavin Grieger. So if we take a look at the Iron Jaws list, we have a list called Pentacabbage, run by John Anderson. He is running the Brute Fist with Godrak, the Scorcher Garan Weird Brute Wreckers, 1 unit of those. Then a Mega Boss on Maw Crusher with a Scorcher Garan Weird Brute Wreckers. And then 1, 2, 3 more Mega Boss on Maw Crushers. That is right. A ton of Mega Bosses on Maw Crushers running around. That's a very cool, very fun list. Very, very cool to see. And also nice to see Iron Jaws doing well. Gavin, great human being, running a list called Ricky Bobby and the Beastie Boys, running a Cruel Boys list in the Swamp Hole Bullies, running Scouting Force and Master of the Paths, running Scorching Grand Killer Boss on Great Gnashtooth, then 3 units of Cruel Boy Monster Killers and a Marsh Crawler Slogoth, then a Swamp Caller Shaman and 3 more units of Cruel Boys Monster Killers. Probably need a points adjustments. And then Merc Noble Belcher Banner and 2 reinforced units of Gut Rippers. And it keeps going in that you've got a Killer Boss with Stabgrot and Manskewer got Bolt Boys. Earlier on, when I talked about Fire Slayers and their ability to have multiple activations, I think really the thing that I was talking about was what you see here in Cruel Boys, in that they have so many units in so many places with so many opportunities to activate all over that they become a real problem. definitely, but also played by just a great human being. So congratulations to both of those two players. Looking at the forwards, we can see Kenneth King has got a list called "Got This List from Your Mama." Wow. I hope it was my mama. She deserves a good time. Anyway, he was running the Kharadron Overlords, Pioneers, and Scavengers list with Master Paths and Restless Energy. He's running Brock Grungson, a frigate, 2 units of Skywardens that reinforce, as well as a Von Grimm Harpoon crew. Then a Code Right, an Archanaut frigate, 2 more, another unit of Von Grimm Harpoon crew that's been reinforced, and a unit of Von Grimm Salvagers in the list as well. So well done to Kenneth. And David Rodriguez was running a list called Obscuring Everywhere. So anyways, I started blasting, which is a Stormcast Eternals Vanguard Wing list with Master Path and Restless Energy, with Lord Aquila, Aether Wings, 2 units of Vanguard Paladars with Starstrike Javelins, and then a unit of Vanguard Raptors with Longstrike Crossbows, a Knight Arcanum, and 2 units of Vigilers. What in the 2024 is this? Absolutely wild. Nice to see Stormcast A getting a 4-1. We haven't seen them much at the moment. Even though they are the most popular army being played in Age of Sigmar right now, they're not necessarily doing very well and wouldn't be what you would consider meta. So getting a 4-1 is super good. Kelpig was running a list called Surf and Turfer. The list Surf and Turfer was the Flesh Eater Courts list with Impassioned Serfs, with Ushran, an Abhorrent Cardinal, a Royal Decapitator, a Grand Justice Gourmand, 3 units of Crypt Ghouls, an Abhorrent Arc Regent, 2 units of Crypt Guard, and then a Stumblefoot Gargant as a Man Crusher Gargant, which was a Regiment of Renown. So the Crypt Ghouls is quite interesting. 3 units of those. You don't see that often. And you also don't often see the big reinforced units of Crypt Guard. So this is quite different to what we've seen in the past. Very, very good. Well done to Kel for doing so. Sinto was running a list called Hammerfest list, which is a City Sigmar Veteran Cannoneers list. And you can guess what was in it. A bunch of Command Corps. He did take the Regiment Renowned the Skyport Profiteers, though. Congratulations as well. That's cool. Then Randall Brasher was running a list called David Lee Droth with very special guest DJ Cody and the Grunstrocks, which was a Fire Slayers Scales of Volcatrex list with Restless Energy in Incept and Recover, with a Rune Father on Magmadroth, a Rune Son on Magmadroth, the soggy version, reinforced unit of Berserkers with Berserker Broadaxes, 2 units of Flame Seekers, a Rune Son on Magmadroth, a Rune Master, and then, of course, the Regiment of Renown, the Gunstruck Thunderers. Also in there, turning off ward saves, which is very effective for the fightingness. And I've seen the Dwarfs working together. That Regiment of Renown probably will get an FAQ at some point. I think that'd be good. Next up, we have got Chris Creech with Soulblight Gravelords list. He was running the Bacchanal of Blood with Scouting Force and Restless Energy, with a Vampire Lord and Nightmare Steed, a unit of Skirgan Trueblades, a reinforced unit of Blood Knights, and some Varghese. Then Kado, some Skirgan Trueblades, and some Barragard, White King on Skeletal Steed, 2 units of Barrow Knights as well. Okay, so first time we've seen Soulblight Gravelords actually this week so far, and I'm surprised because actually they feel like they're really an A-tier army with a bunch of different builds that we saw a couple of weeks ago. But again, like Ironeth Deacon, which we've now started to see, emerge from the depths of last week and bubble into the top, we're now in this place where we're starting to see them a little bit more. So these 2 events, lots of diverse armies compared to last week, which felt very Cities and KO and Daughters of Cain heavy. Actually, no, Daughters of Cain were not there last week, but seeing Fire Slayers, also great. Soulblight Gravelords, great. Stormcast, also great in there as well. Hope everyone had a great time at their event. Our next event takes us to Ocala, Florida for Full Frenzy at Warpfire Miniatures, which is organized by Jordan Rainey. Shout out to Jordan. Held at a venue near BJ Trophies and Certificates. However, I don't know if I've ever publicly said this on YouTube. I don't know if I've ever said this. But one of the things that happens when we do the stat show live on Twitch is we'll often look at where the venues are located. And actually, I have a working theory that every Warhammer event is never more than 100 yards or something from somewhere that's a dojo, or you could do dojoing. And in fact, this event is right next to the Extreme Taekwondo Center. So this theory has never failed. It's never failed, right? I don't know why. I don't know why they go in the same place, but anyway, theory still confirmed. Anyway, so get back to it. The only 5-0 we got this week is Timothy Page with Stormcast Eternals. And again, Stormcast on the up and up. Very interesting. Timothy Page was running Strike Like Lightning. That's the name of his list, which was a Stormcaster Turtles Lightning Echelon list with Intercept and Recover and Master the Paths. There's a Lord Celestial on Star Drake, a unit of Dracothian Guard Concussors, a unit of Dracothian Guard Tempesters, and then a unit of Storm Drake Guard and a unit of Vigilers in a 1-drop. In 2025, the reason obviously this is rare nowadays is because if you have more drops than your opponent, you have the ability to once per game re-roll your priority roll dice. That's an amazing win. Congratulations to Timothy. Very inspiring. In the 4-1 section, we have Gloomspike Gitz. Great to see Gloomspike Gitz doing really well. Then we have Cruel Boys and we have Disciples of Tzeentch. So again, nice lot of mix there. So we got Sean Page was teaching, was running a list called Double Splatters, which includes like its Squiggle list with Restless Energy and Scouting Force. He had Squiggle Boss and Nashor Squig, 2 units of reinforced Boingrot Bounders, a unit of Moonclan Stabbers, and then a reinforced Squigherd unit. Then Drogs the Sun Chomper, that -1 to hit aura, Rockgot Troggoths for smashing, Snarfang Riders, and the Snarpack Cavalry. And then a regiment 2 was the Rabble Rouser, and 2 Scourgy Garand Spore Splatter Fanatics. Now, you really need to run those Spore Splatter Fanatics like I covered in the video from the past. They're so effective. You should go run them. They're very, very good for scoring points. Chris Kennedy was running a list called Warpfire Tournament List, running the Manifestations of Gorka Morka, and then Restless Energy, Master the Paths in the Swamp Horde Bullies Battle Formation. With Killer Boss and Cult Tripper Vulture, 4 units on Monster Killers, someone called a Shaman of Potgrot, unit of Manskewer Bolt Boys that was reinforced, 2 smaller units, Scourger Grand Killer Boss and Great Nashtooth, the Snatcher Boss and Sundraker Beast, and reinforced unit of Gut Rippers, Marsh Squirrel Sloggoth. Again, lots of monster killers. Don't forget, Cruel Boys are one of the most effective armies in the game right now. Then you got Joshua Sasso running a list called Tzeentch Warpfire Full Frenzy, which was a Disciples of Tzeentch Weird Flame host list with Kairos, Chaos Spawner Tzeentch, a Scourgy Garand Ogroid Thermitage, which everyone is running right now, Zangor Shaman, 2 reinforced units for Zangors, and then the regiment now Lord Skaldor's Chosen, which is a Chaos Lord and Demonic Mount, some Chaos Knights and Chaos Warriors for a much more sturdy kind of high armor save unit in the middle of the board that's very effective as you play classic Hammer and Anvil with the Zangor, while Kairos obviously scores you all the points. Anyway, hope everyone had great fun at this event. Continue to do so. Thanks very much. Our next event is our most northern event in the calendar. Happens every year, organized by Lars Dahl. Shout out to Lars Dahl for the King of the North 2025. And if you're currently painting or you just sat listening to this, please take a moment to look at the picture of these legends. 22 players battling it out north of, north, really far north in Norway. You can see it up here. We're in Tromsø, at this event. And just great human beings all the way around. Fire good! Anyway, if we look at the roster, we see in first place, we got the wonderful Geirvadald with his Blades of Corn, running a list called 1 BOK Kitten, which is a Blades of Corn core tide list with Interceptor and Cover and Wrathful Cycles. And he's got a Blood Secretor, 2 units of Blood Reavers, and then a Realmgore Ritualist, 3 units of reinforced Blood Warriors, because they are both the fightiest and the tankiest unit in the book, a Slaughter Priest, and 3 more units of Blood Reavers. So absolutely devastating, amazing player running the new book, running something different to the Army of Renown. So that's fantastic to see. Then Benjamin Fludder in our first 4-1, running a list called Soulblight Gravelords of Vampires, which was a Backlord of Blood list with Inceptor and Cover and Restless Energy with Vortri, 2 reinforced units of Blood Knights, a Vengori Lord, 2 units of Skirk True Blades, and a unit of Dire Wolves. And again, the Skirk True Blades are becoming very, very, very popular for the Soulblight Gravelords players. That's very cool to see. Then we got Lassie Kalberg running a list called A Double Pair of Soggy Balloons is Everything an Old Dwarf Needs. Which is a Carrigan Overlords Engineer Guild's Expeditionary Force list with Archanaut Admiral, a reinforced unit of Archanaut Company, an Ironclad, some Endrin Riggers that were reinforced, a Soggy Gun Hauler, and then an Endrin Master with Endrin Harness and another Soggy Gun Hauler, some Sky Wardens, and some Volgrim Salvagers. So it's nice to see the Ironclad. Haven't seen that necessarily in all of the KO lists. So that's very cool. And then Oyston was running a list called Cruel Boys V3, which was running Manifestations Gorka Morka, and then Attunity Grand, Restless Energy in the Swamp Hall Bullies list, with a Breaker Boss on Mybrick Troggoth, 3 reinforced units of Gut Rippers. Wow, that's insane. A Marsh Crawler Sloggoth, a Scourgy Grand Swamp Boss Gumdrek, Killer Boss on Great Gnashtooth, Cruel Boys Monster Killers, Swamp Crawler Shaman Potgrot, and some Beast Skewer Kill Boys. Absolutely fantastic. Great to see. So that is everything from the King of the North. I hope the King of the North event lasts until literally the earth dies from the sun imploding. Great groups of human beings. Please continue to go every year. It's great. Wonderful. Fire good. Our next event takes us from the far north of Norway to the Mediterranean island of Mallorca for the GT High Tide AOS event, organized by Polo GM. You can see here. So in first place, we have a Cruel Boys list run by Emilio Martin Lindberg, running a Swamp Hall Bullies list with the Manifestations of Gorka Morka, Restless Energy, Intercept, and Recover. He had Swamp Crawler Shaman, 3 units of Cruel Boys Monster Killers, a Merc Knob with Belcher Banner, 2 units of Gut Rippers, Marsh Crawler Sloggoth, a Merc Knob with Belcher Banner, some Beast Skewer Killbows, and some Man Skewer Bolt Boys, and then a Scourgy Garand, Killer Boss, and Great Gnashtooth, and 3 more units of Man Skewer Bolt Boys. Pretty fun. You can go from Texas all the way to Mallorca, and you get a similar Cruel Boys list, doing very well. That's very cool to see. Shout out to Emilio. Fran Marcos was running a list called the Soulblight Fran, which was a Knights of the Crimson Keep list with Intercept, Recover, and Restless Energy. With 4 dry reinforced units of Blood Knights, 2 units of Blood Knights, a Vampire Lord and Nightmare Steed, and then another reinforced unit of Blood Knights, bludgeoning people. Very elite, high armor saves, very fast, can do really well. This is a list that's very effective, and you can build a paint, and it's very good, but it's never been too strong. So that's good. And then Daniel Perez Fontella was running a list called Catacross y sus Amigo, which is a OC Reaper's Mortars and Council list. I'm laughing because I don't think I got that right, so I'm sorry about that. Intercept and Recover and Master the Paths with Catacross, a unit of Immortis Guard, a unit of Morghast Archive, both of which are reinforced, and then a Mortison Soul Reaper, and then a Mortison Ossifector, a Crawler, and another Mortison Ossifector. So 2 big bricks, which is definitely how OC Bone Reapers, which feature very little at the moment in the stats, have been performing, especially as Morghast Archive feel like they're holding the army up quite a lot. Anyway, that was all of the event, all of the results from Mallorca. It's great to see. Oh, the event took place, at Goblin Trader. So if you ever are planning a trip to Mallorca, or yourself live locally and want to find somewhere to go play Warhammer, this feels like it's a nice place. Go to the Goblin Cafe. Our next event takes us to Alabama for the Hostilities at the High Ground GT, organized by Wade Shaw. Now, this takes place at probably my favorite gaming venue in the world, the High Ground Hobbies Cafe. It's in Madison, Alabama, if you ever get the chance to go. I think they have a location for you to sleep over as well. They have themed D&D rooms. They also have themed food in their cafe. And as someone who runs a venue himself, TSN Arena in Nottingham, I kind of find this to be goals, and I think it's awesome. So shout out to the people that run the High Ground Hobbies and Cafe. It's pretty legit. Anyway, this event was run by Wade Shaw, and it was won by Calvin Rary with his Blades of Corn army, but only getting a 4-1, no 5-0 at this event. Calvin was running a list called Nerfed, which he was running the new Gore Chosen Champions after the update that we saw recently, balancing the army with a Mighty Lord of Khorne, 4 Deathbringers, a Realm Gore Ritualist, 3 Skull Grinders, a Slaughter Priest, 2 more Skull Grinders, a Blood Secretor, 3 more Deathbringers, and then a final Deathbringer. So it seems like it maybe hasn't fully destroyed the army's ability to play and do well, which is good because it's very thematic and very cool to see. Walter Brock was running a list called King Arthur, I am your king. Woman, well, I didn't vote for you. King Arthur, you don't vote for kings. Woman, well, how do you become a king then? Angelic music plays. King Arthur, the Lady of the Lake, her arm clad in the purest shimmering samite, held aloft Excalibur from the bosom of the water, signifying the divine providence that I, Arthur, was to carry Excalibur. That is why I'm your king. Dennis interrupting. Listen, strange woman lying in ponds distributing swords is no basis for a system of government. Supreme executive power derives from a mandate from the masses, not from some farcical aquatic ceremony. And I agree with Walter Brock, the Eternal. No kings, no masters. Anyway, Flesh Eater Courts, Lords of the Manor list run with Scouting Force and Restless Energy, running Ushran, Morteka Delusion, 2 reinforced units of Crypt Guard, so 20 of those, an Abhorrent Arc Region, a Royal Decapitator, 2 units of 20 Crypt Guard, again reinforced, and then a Grand Justice Gourmet and 2 units of Royal Beast Flayers, which really is going to be that +1 damage for those units from the right delusion for those ghouls. So effective. Very fun to see, especially from a player as good as Walter. Great story. Mackenzie Ewing is running a list called What's a God to a Zombie, which is a Soulblight Gravelord's Bacchanal of Blood list, running Restless Energy and Scouting Force, with the Scourge of Garan Fang of New Lamia. We have not seen that before, or have seen it very rarely. 2 units of Blood Knights, unit of Dead Walker Zombies, a Scourge of Garan Corpse Cart, a White King, a reinforced unit of Dead Walker Zombies, then another Corpse Cart, Kado Ezekiel, the Hollow King, and 2 units of Vargeist as well. Just like I was saying about Soulblight Gravelords, these lists are so diverse and so many opportunities to play so well with them. I'm unsurprised to see this. Mackenzie's also a great human being. And then finally, Mike Maccabee with an army called, this army is just ice skating uphill, which is Hedonites to Slanesh, Invaders Army, with Restless Energy and Wrathful Cycles. Glutos Skellion, Seeker Chariot, 2 units of Twin Souls, then Blissbarb Archers, the Scourge of Garan Slangor Fiendbloods that were reinforced. Last time he had a few more units of those. We've seen less of them now. And then a Lord of Pain and Sigvald. So probably one of the only people putting Slanesh on the map at the moment. It does seem to be focused around Glutos and those Twin Souls. But we've seen slightly less Fiendbloods in the list, and we have seen some Blissbarb Archers, which is cool. Anyway, I hope everyone had great at my GOAT venue, the High Ground GT. I hope you all had a great time. Our next event takes us to Czechia for the Battle for Starhill singles event with 18 players battling it out, organized by Stanislav Murik. So thank you for organizing the event. We've only got 150, and this was played by Pavel, running Flesh Eater Courts. Pavel's list was called Umbral Cotier, which was 50 points down for the extra CP. And he was running a Flesh Eater Courts nightly echelon list with Master of the Paths and Restless Energy. Then a Boron Ghoul King on Royal Terrorgeist. Then a reinforced unit of Crypt Flayers, an Infernal Courtier, and then a reinforced unit of Morbeg Knights. Then an Arc Regent, a unit of Crypt Horrors, a unit of Crypt Guard, and a Royal Decapitator. So as being pointed out in the chat, yeah, some more Flesh Eater Courts being played. I think that's one of the success stories of this week's reports from the front lines, is that Flesh Eater Courts are in a great place. Then we've got Jiri Nemvara running a Daughters of Cain Coven Zealots list with Restless Energy and Master of the Paths, with a Soggy Crest of Croneseer, 2 units of Witch Elves with paired blades, Slaughter Queen on Cauldron of Blood, unit Sister Slaughter with Bladed Bucklers ×2 that were reinforced, and then a Scourge of Garan Bloodwreck Shrine, some Life Takers, a Hag Queen, and some Cain Knight Shadow Stalkers. So Daughters of Cain have dropped off a little bit, at least in popularity, from the top tables over the past few weeks. So well done to Jerry for bringing them back. And then we've got Matt Amendolia with Soulblight Gravelords Neferata's Blood, Moon, which is a Soulblight Gravelords Bacchanals of Blood list with a Tune to Grant and Incept and Recover, with Neferata, some Direwolves, Prince Vordry, some Muskirgan Trueblade, some Varghese, Vampire Lord and Nightmare Steed, and then some Blood Knights, all reinforced as well. So good armor saves. And again, these Muskirgan Trueblades have really started to go to the front line and see play. Hope everyone at this event had a great time. Let's move on to the next event. Our next event takes us to Arizona, for Phoenix, Arizona, which is organized by Jed Spears, Joel Scrivener, Matt Bow, all for the Smite Club Charitable Foundation. So this is an event that they've run a couple of times now. I don't know where it takes place. I've tried to find it a couple of times, but I'm just going to assume it takes place at Phoenix Tent and Awning Center, which is a massive venue. There's a lot of tents available there if you ever get a chance to go. But you should go check it out. They've run more events. So if you're around the Phoenix, Arizona area, then you should try and hook up with this club. So Cameron was our 5-0 running Flesh Eater Courts. They are back. They are popular. Their new book is popping off. Running Lords of the Manor with Usharan, Unit Crypt Flayers, Unit Crypt Guard, both of which were reinforced, and then Abhorrent Ghoul King Royal Terrorgeist, some Crypt Flayers, some Crypt Horrors, and an Infernal Courtier, then an Abhorrent Arc Region. All of these are super popular right now. But I think just Flesh Eater Courts are popping off because their new book is super exciting. Then we got Colt Heggett was running a list called TT Tongues Always Pressed to Your Cheeks while my tongue is on the inside of some other girl's teeth. Whoa. He has the Slanesh Seeker Cavalcade list with Scouting Force and Restless Energy, with a Sarge Speaker of Slanesh, some Hellstriders, some Slickblade Seekers, some Slickblade Seekers, and some Slickblade Seekers. Wow. Very different list to what we've seen run for Slanesh. And then a Shard Speaker of Slanesh, some Blissbarb Archers, and then some Blissbarb Seekers and some Hellstriders. It's a very fast army, lots of Slickblade Seekers running up the board. Very cool and very unique army. We've rarely seen that. Then Doug Janowski was running a list called I'm Not Painting Another Army Until Hellsmiths of Ashur are released. Well, Doug, you haven't got long to wait. Running an OCR Bone Reapers Hekatos Drillmasters list with Restless Energy and Attuned to Garan. He had Nagash, a Mortis Guard, a reinforced unit of Death Riders, a reinforced unit of Death Riders, and then a Scourge of Garan Mortek Guard in that list as well. Full send. Nagash in the middle, absolutely fantastic. You've rarely seen Nagash at the moment. That's cool. And don't worry, Doug, your army is out soon, but Flesh Eater Courts, currently the hot army to beat. Our next event is called Pantscon, a very real Warhammer tournament organized by Brendan Melnick. Taking place in Three Rivers, Missouri, if you get a chance to go over there and play some Warhammies. So in first place was Brendan Melnick with OCR Bone Reapers, and he was running Pantscon. His list was called Pantscon, a very real Warhammer tournament with Mortars and Council. Is Brendan Melnick also the event organizer? Okay. Running Instant Recovery for his own event with the Gash, Kavalos Death Riders, a reinforced unit of Morghast Harbingers, and a Mortis and Osvector, and then the regiment now the Skyport Profiteers. Okay. Then Dustin Morley was running a list called Ain't No Party Like a Kurnoth Party, which is a 4-1, with Sylvaneth with Wargrove of the Burgeoning. And he was running Belthanos, reinforced unit of Kurnoth Hunters with Great Swords, Branch Witch, and then Kurnoth Hunters with Great Scythes, and then a Warsong Rev with Kurnoth Hunters with Great Bows in the list. So Noel Ariel, multiple Kurnoth Hunters with all of the types. John Rocco was running a list called Sharkbait, which was an Achillean Beastmasters and a Deepkin list with an Eidolon Aspect to the Sea, 2 units of Ishlan Guard and a Leviathan, then an Oracle of the Abyss, and then 3 Alapexes, and then an Icon of the Storm. Whoa. Okay, so more Alapexes featuring this week as well. Bit of a success story. Then we have Peter Sasimi running Flesh Eater Courts on Royal Menagerie with Inceptor Recover and Wrathful Cycles. Ushran, High Falconer Felgrin made it into the list. And then Abhorrent Ghoul King on Royal Terrorgeist, a Royal Terrorgeist, and Abhorrent Ghoul King on Royal Terrorgeist, and 2 more Terrorgeists. Lots of people have tried to play this Terrorgeist or all Terrorgeist list, but this is one of the only people we've seen go 4-1 with it. And then Alex Moilinus was running a list called Pantsum, which was a Gloomspite Gits, Sunbiter Pack list with Frazzle Git on Shaman Warwheeler, 2 Doomdiver Catapults, 2 reinforced units of Snarlpack Cavalry, then Drogs the Sun Chomper, a unit of Rockgut Troggoths, a Gobblepalooza, some Starfang Riders, a Snarl Boss, and the Wolf Git Revenue. So very rare to see all of the these Gits units in here that we normally don't see. Normally we see more Rock Guts and Squigs. We don't normally see some of the newer ones do so well. So yeah, we're snarling and it's happening. So that's great. I'm not convinced this is a real GT. I don't know. So if this wasn't real, and maybe we'll find out. Anyway, great work. Our final event takes us to Canada for an event in Saskatchewan. I said that close to correct, with 8 people battling out in Canada at the Thunderstrike Presents the Rumble at Robluskis. Anyway, in our first place, we've got Cameron, Tatrin, running a Magmadroth Pizza Party list with Scales of Volcatrix, Intercept and Recover Restless Energies. And then a Runefather on Magmadroth, Runestone on Magmadroth, which is the Soggy version. Soggy, Runestone on Magmadroth, 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. And then an Auric Runemaster, and then some Hearthguard Berserkers with Berserker Broadaxes. All in this list. Shout out to Cameron. And that is the end of this week's results. Just pretty exciting. 229 players, 10 events, 5 different countries. Definitely the Flesh Eater courts are popping up in ways that we haven't seen. I think we felt like a dominating effect from Cruel Boys as well, and we saw almost no Cities of Sigmar, especially compared to last week. Carriage and Overlords obviously also in the mix, and a variety of other lists that are out there that were quite interesting. So I would say a pretty exciting week. Flesh Eater courts definitely the success story from this week with their new book launch, Nighthaunt appearing nowhere, which I think a lot of people are going to be asking a lot of questions about. There's a lot of Nighthaunt armies out there available to immediately put on the tabletop, and we haven't seen them. So what does that tell us about the most recent book release? We'll have to see. Maybe it'll pop up in a few weeks when people will really work out how the army plays. Anyway, a special thank you to everyone in Discord, on Twitch, who hangs out with me while we do these. And I hope you've enjoyed these videos. Please do leave a comment if you've enjoyed them. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.